Today, most of you will be talking about the poll that came out this morning and the long odds my campaign faces against 30-year incumbent Charles Grassley. I'm here today to say my fight to represent working families against powerful special interests is not over. Many thought a young girl who grew up in poverty would never get a law degree, and certainly not by the age of 21. They were wrong. Throughout my career, I have sat across the aisle from powerful corporations with armies of lawyers to fight on behalf of teachers, moms, dads, factory workers, and regular people who needed a voice. Mostly, I won. And they won. The fight to represent these very same people in the U.S. Senate is no different. Washington is broken. What is Senator Grassley going to do in the next 6 years that he couldn't have done in the last 30 years? He took $800,000 in campaign contributions from big banks on Wall Street and then voted to bail them out with $700 billion of taxpayers' money. And then he voted against holding them accountable. Senator Grassley took more than $600,000 from drug companies and wrote a bill that prohibited the federal government from negotiating prices with those very same drug companies in Medicare Part D. Medicare is a gift to big drug companies. Seniors pay 80% more because of that provision. And Iowans alone pay $400 million extra. The bill also created the infamous donut hole, and he voted against closing it. This is how it works in Washington, and that is what I am committed to changing. My message to Iowa voters is simple and direct. Who do you believe will represent you in Washington? I've spent my entire career representing people, regular, everyday Iowans, while Senator Grassley has spent the last decade representing big banks and drug companies. This is the choice. We have 36 days left to make our case. Am I once again facing long odds? You bet. Are the odds impossible? Absolutely not. We are leading in the only poll that counts, ballots. We hold a 4-1 lead in absentee votes. We are not going to let the poll numbers become a self-fulfilling prophecy. This election is not over until every single vote is counted. We are going to continue working around the clock and taking our message to voters and offering a clear choice to Iowans. And our secret army, our secret weapon is the army of volunteers that works with me around the clock, some of whom are here today. Thank you very much for all the work that you've done and all the work that you're going to do in the next few weeks. Tomorrow we're going to begin airing a new TV ad. As you'll see, we're going to continue our efforts to inform voters on the important issues facing our state and facing our nation. Sam, hit the... Oh, okay. This is the new ad that we're going to start airing tomorrow, Tuesday.
Made in the USA. It means something here. But jobs like these are disappearing. And Chuck Grassley's put corporate interests ahead of Iowans, voting for NAFTA, voting 5 times for tax breaks for companies to ship jobs overseas. After 35 years in Washington, Chuck Grassley's forgotten who he works for.
I'm Conlin, and I approve this message because we need to grow jobs here and stop rewarding companies that send them overseas. Washington's broken, and I'm fighting to fix it.
We can show that one more time. If y'all have 30 seconds, we'll show that one more time.
Made in the USA. It means something here. But jobs like these are disappearing. And Chuck Grassley's put corporate interests ahead of Iowans, voting for NAFTA, voting 5 times for tax breaks for companies to ship jobs overseas. After 35 years in Washington, Chuck Grassley's forgotten who he works for.
I'm Roxanne Conlin, and I approve this message because we need to grow jobs here and stop rewarding companies that send them overseas. Washington's broken, and I'm fighting to fix it.
I've had my papers on your tape recorders. Questions? The press is silent.
So how do you go about overcoming a 30-point deficit?
Well, I think that our message, we know, is resonating. It is a matter of getting our message out to Iowans while they're voting, before they're voting, hopefully. And I believe that we can do that with these people right here and with the others all across the state who are working hard. We're up on the air. We're the first campaign against Senator Grassley in the last 30 years that's even been able to get onto television. Here, his buy is a great deal bigger than ours. But nonetheless, we are on TV. I think that our ads are also speaking to the people of the state of Iowa. And 5 weeks is a relatively long time. One of my heroes, Senator John Culver, used to say 24 hours is an eternity in politics. One of the things that I don't understand is why, given the fact that he's so far ahead of me in the polls, he won't stand on a stage and debate me. We've called for a debate next week, October 3rd in Cedar Rapids, and we haven't heard yet whether he's planning on attending. And we have several other invitations for debates outstanding. And it would seem to me that a United States Senator seeking his 6th term ought to have the courage to stand on a stage and defend his record before the people of the state of Iowa. And that he is not willing to do that says something, I think, very serious about his campaign.
That's my question.
Oh, all right. That, I think, is the question of the day.
That says a lot.
Anybody else?
Question. The Democrats do lead in terms of absentee ballots
Yes.
requested 4-1, but numbers actually show that the ones that have actually been turned in are more so for the Republicans. They've turned a lot more in. Does that worry you at all? Or?
No, we've had a plan from the beginning, and we're executing our plan. And I think that the plan, which includes the absentee voters, of course, will turn the tables on the Republicans when they're all counted. Anybody else? Is that Channel 13? Okay, if you've got no more questions, I'm going to read my statement again for Channel 13, who just arrived. You were late. You bet. Okay, wait. We have to give you one. Oh, you might want to take this again because I missed a whole page. I did. Oh, and it's a very, very important page. All right. It talks about the fact that Tom Vilsack was at 31% at exactly this time in 1998, and nobody thought that Scott Brown would be successful, and he gained 30 points in the last few days of his election in Massachusetts. And I think that clearly it's not unusual to have a race term in the last few days. So I'm starting for Channel 13, who was late.
But aren't you?
Yes, but thank you for coming.
Covers Micah.
Yeah, today most of you will be talking about the poll that came out this morning and the long odds that my campaign faces against 30-year incumbent Charles Grassley.